What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne. Thanks for joining us. Thailand is one step closer to marriage equality after a bill allowing same-sex unions passed the lower house of the country's parliament. The bill received overwhelming support from lawmakers, with 400 legislators voting in favor and 10 members voting against it. 415 were present for the vote. Thailand's Senate still needs to approve the bill before it can go to the king for endorsement. Only then would it become law. Thailand has long taken a more liberal stance on LGBTQ+ rights than its neighbors. If passed, the legislation would make it the third country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. A 5-person political delegation from Europe and Germany is pushing for closer ties between the European Parliament and Taiwan. Louis Watt reports.
Another delegation here at Taiwan's Foreign Ministry showing support for Taiwan, this time from the European and German parliaments. In their meetings with officials, most of the discussions have revolved around security, given the existential threat that Taiwan faces from China. Reinhard Bütikofer, chair of the European Parliament's delegation for relations with China, said one of the reasons they came was to stand together against authoritarian countries that oppose human rights and are against the rules-based order.
We strongly believe that it is important that team democracy works together well, that democracies have each other's back and show solidarity.
Bütikofer also said they want enhanced cooperation with Taiwan. When pressed, he suggested there could be a possible resilient supply chain agreement in the works. The delegation says they're interested in pushing people-to-people relations, party-to-party relations, and parliament-to-parliament relations. Of course, they're one faction in the European Parliament, but they say they told Tsai that Taiwan has won many friends over the last couple of years, and the European Union is also now heavily invested in fostering this relationship because they have an active interest in peace and stability in the region. Luffy Lee and Louise Watt at Taiwan's Foreign Ministry for TaiwanPlus.
More footage has emerged from China of soldiers using mock-ups of Taiwanese cities as a setting for military exercises. It's raising questions about just how ready Taiwan is for urban warfare. Hamil Kang explains.
Chinese soldiers training for war. While exercises like these are a daily part of China's military training, this specific drill caught the eyes of many in Taiwan. Footage from China's military shows an exercise using mock-ups of real streets and buildings in Taiwan. This one simulated an attack on a district next to the country's biggest airport. Mock-ups of Taiwan's presidential office have even been spotted being overrun by Chinese forces.
中共近年来的确是系统性的在增加这种实景跟实战化训练它的各式军种跟兵种，这都值得我们注意。同时采取更有系统性的反制方式。
China sees Taiwan as part of its territory and has long threatened to bring the country under its control with military force. But using mock-ups is not a new tactic. China has been using these fake targets to get their soldiers familiar with the battlefield for years. And it's not just Taiwan mock-ups. Satellite images in 2021 also showed China practicing how to target U.S. warships in the Gobi Desert. It's all part of Beijing's plan to provide as realistic combat training as possible to its forces.
When you see the thing for the first time that you're not familiar with, your responses is not going to be the same as, as basically what you think you would respond. And a lot of militaries, not just the Chinese, went to extraordinary lengths to combat this.
While for decades Taiwan has focused on coastal defense, analysts say little attention has been paid to other areas like urban warfare. They say that while the main focus for Taiwan's military has been keeping China from landing on its territory, there isn't much planning for what would happen if Chinese soldiers do make it onto the streets.
It is definitely a warning sign that Taiwan would have to increase its training and how it aims to actually counter urban warfare. I don't think Taiwan, as a country, has actually thought about urban warfare seriously. Right? There's a lot that can be done to make basically the urban environment into a hellhole for the enemy. And frankly, that's not something that we've seen a lot of discussion.
Using Taiwan-style mock-ups in China's military training serves a big operational purpose, but it's also meant to instill fear in Taiwan's population. While China is open about what it's targeting, it could give Taiwan an insight into what a conflict might look like. But Taiwan's toughest task is assuring its defense strategy prevents these images from becoming reality. John Su and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's defense minister says the military plans to establish a drone training center to teach more soldiers how to operate unmanned systems. Cho Guozheng was speaking to Taiwan's legislature.
这个无人机获得多少，人员机它迅速多少，这是我最基本的目标。操作手要多无人机，我们要看嘛啊，我们期望这样子，但一定是让这个无人机的操作是绝对没有顾虑，不会去抓个人来操作，都是经过训练。
Taiwan is currently planning to build and acquire more than 3,000 drones in what the military is calling a drone fleet. As part of the country's military modernization efforts, Taiwan is also waiting on delivery of 4 advanced Sea Guardian drones from the U.S. 2 people are now dead and 5 are in the hospital after eating at a Taipei restaurant. Investigators are looking for possible contamination while doctors speculate a fatal toxin may be to blame. John Van Trieste reports.
Toxicologists, city inspectors, and officials from the Food and Drug Administration combed this Taipei restaurant for clues. 2 people who ate here in recent days are dead, and 5 more are in the hospital. The samples investigators would most like to get their hands on are no longer available.
我们更期待的是采样到食鱼啦，但是因为那个食鱼都没有办法采到了。
Instead, they're going up the restaurant's supply chain, testing 6 suspect ingredients that range from cabbage to noodles. It will take at least 2 weeks for lab results. But some doctors watching the case already have a theory, a substance called bongkrek acid. It's odorless, tasteless, and highly toxic. It has a deadly history in Asia, sometimes forming in rice or fermented coconut products that get contaminated with bacteria if not properly stored.
它本身直接会造成我们的呼吸的这些传递链的终止，就会因为这一个毒素而无法进展。 那病人就会产生很严重的中毒现象。
Whatever the case, 3 of the surviving diners continue to fight for their lives in intensive care units.
会住到加护病房连续都是多重器官衰竭。我掌握到的这个叶克膜的使用的部分是北医星光跟马偕。
The Taipei city government has ordered all the restaurant's branches in the city temporarily shut, and Taipei prosecutors are also getting involved, looking for evidence in what may soon expand into a criminal case. Joseph Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
More people than ever are living with both a mortgage and credit debt in Taiwan. Real estate agencies have found that the number of these people has jumped 25% over the past decade to 360,000. And prices have gone up too, with the average mortgage rising 70%, while average credit loans have increased by almost 90%. Analysts say new housing subsidies may encourage people to take out mortgages, and recent gains in Taiwan's stock market may have people borrowing money to invest. The Baishatun Mazu pilgrimage has wrapped up with record numbers of people joining in. 180,000 people took part in the procession, one of the largest in the country, spanning 300 kilometers, 9 days and 8 nights. With this many people, businesses along the route can make big money. This year, the pilgrims spent an estimated $25 million on food alone. The temple collected nearly $4 million in registration fees, but organizers say their focus is on preserving the culture of the sea goddess.
我们并不特意的去诉求所谓的人多少人，或是像那个什么报名费，其实我们在意的是它的镜像文化的本质。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Now, before we go, remember to always look before you leap. These adrenaline junkies are cliff diving in Saudi Arabia's southwestern Jazan province. I'm Yvonne. Take care, and I'll see you next time.